What's going on, everybody? This is Paul, your hip hop relationship and recovery coach, coming to you again with another episode of Kick Your Butt Out. And as usual, y'all, you either sitting on your butt or you standing on your why. As I say always, man, it's just that simple. All right. So today, I want to get into some really deep conversation about recovery or lack thereof. And today's recovery that I want to talk about is for the recovery for the person or people who are addicted to the substances, as well as the recovery for the family members who aren't addicted, that's going through what they're going through because of the experiences of their family members being addicted. The recovery for the family member who's not addicted from enabling their loved one unknowingly or in the name of love to stay in that madness or that mess one more day. Yes, we have to talk about that because a lot of us, in the name of love, are helping to kill our loved ones by supporting their habits, giving them money, giving them a place to stay, buying them drugs, giving them gas, buying them cars, you name it. We're doing some of the things that we're doing in the name of love for our loved ones is actually helping them stay in that madness one more day and continuing to play that Russian roulette with their lives. Let me explain what I mean by that. Obviously, you all know I'm a person in long-term recovery as well. I'm also a person who works in the recovery field. Again, I am a recovery coach, so I work in the field and have had the opportunity to experience this personally and professionally. And one of the things from a professional standpoint that I do as I watch lots of shows, documentaries and what have you, that pertains to substance use and or recovery, whether it be the person or people who's addicted or the family members who's going through what they're going through because of the loved one who's addicted. One in particular is I watch Intervention. It's a show called Intervention. It hasn't been on in a couple of years. I'm sad that it hasn't. I'll be glad when I'm hoping that it comes back on again, and I'll be glad to continue to see it so that I can see the success stories. From the people who finally overcame, whether it be the person who's addicted and or the family members. Okay, so there's one episode in particular that really stuck out to me, and I'm gonna talk about that episode today, and that is, it was a young lady who was addicted to opioids, heroin to be exact. She wasn't allowed to live at her parents' house, because she had stolen so much from them, they put her out. She was living in an abandoned house with a boyfriend or whatever, a drug-addicted boyfriend. But here's one of the things that the mother did daily, a few times a week. The mother would get in her car, go to the bank, get hundreds of dollars, go over to the abandoned house, pick her daughter up, drive at the daughter's directions to the dope house. The daughter would sit in the back of the car. The mother, who had never touched drugs from her own usage standpoint, would get out of the car, go to the dope house, knock on the door, go into the house, purchase the dope herself, come out, get in the car, give the daughter the dope, drive to a spot, park, while her daughter sits behind her in the back seat and shoot dope. In the name of love. Here is her mother's reasoning behind that. I'd rather do that, give her the money, than to have her out here doing any and everything to get the money for the dope. In the name of love for her daughter, she's continuing to enable her, but she's enabling her. But she's enabling her to stay in that mess one more day. She's continuing to do that. And again, the terrible part about it was the mother was saying her reasoning or her logic behind continuing to do this was that I want to make sure that my daughter is not out here doing any and everything in the name of getting another one. But you were, in this process, you were enabling her to stay in this thing one more day. And many of you out there who's listening to this podcast, either you've done it, you're doing it, or you know someone that's doing it. And I'm here to say this. I'm here to tell you, this podcast is called But You Enabling Them. This podcast is designed to tell you that in the name of love for your loved ones or whoever you know that's near and dear to your heart, that's whether alcohol, drugs, or whatever it is, you can't give them anything that's going to enable them to get one more. You can't. I know some people who, like I was saying, the young lady, she couldn't live at her mother's house. I know some situations where the parents has that same rule, but they're paying rent at another place for their drug-addicted son or daughter to stay in. You're enabling them. You can't do that. That's not healthy. You'll continue. They're going to always have somewhere to go shoot their dope, smoke their crack, crystal meth, or whatever it is that they're doing. They're going to always have somewhere to go because you're giving them a place to stay, right? We can't do that. Just like that mother that I told you about that was on intervention. You can't. It's not healthy to continue to do that. You shouldn't do that because, again, you're giving them the opportunity to stay in that thing one more day. I know of another situation where the parents were taking care of the child's car, whether it was getting the maintenance done, paying for the insurance, paying the car note, making sure that the person had gas, all of that. And so if this person knows that you're going to continue to do that, all the money that I get, I'm going to allocate it towards drugs. Oh, here's another thing. I know of situations where parents are continuing to make sure that their child has a cell phone. Well, the only time that they're going to call you is when they want some money for some drugs. Other than that, their telephone is saturated with people that's attached to their life, whether it's the dealer or fellow users, whether it's dealers or fellow users. You're enabling them. You are enabling them when you do that. Now, let me say this. Let me make sure I'm clear with this. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to love your loved ones. I would give them food. Yes, if they need something to eat, feed them. Don't give them any money. I'll buy the food and give it to you. If they need their clothes washed, yes, you can wash your clothes. You need to take a shower, yes, you can take a shower. By all means, I'm going to make sure you're able to do all of that. You can't stay at my house, but you can get yourself clean. You can eat some food and all of those kind of things. I would allow that. I would definitely do that for my loved one, but you can't stay in my house, and I'm not giving you any form of money. Nothing that's going to enable you to continue to use. I know of another situation, and I got to speak on these things because somebody out there needs to hear this. Somebody out here needs to embrace this. Somebody out here needs to internalize this so that you can put the fire up under your loved one's butt to get some help, and you can recover yourself. I know a situation where a family, parents were employing their children. I've seen it on intervention, and I've seen it personally, where parents were employing their children at their company, knowing that their children are addicted, paying them, giving them a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, whatever times that they had agreed to be paid, but they're allowing them to work, and they're paying them, knowing that they're taking this money and going to buy dope. People, you can't do that. And here's why. Here's a situation personally that I want to talk about. My son, one of my sons, he's addicted to pills, opioids to be exact. And I've been trying to get him to get help, ever since I found out that he has this addiction. I've been trying to help him to get help ever since then, and won't ever stop. Whenever he decides to get help and he comes to me, I'm going to do everything that I need to do to make sure he gets to that place where he can get the help that he needs so he can overcome this. However, it was a few years back, I was at a mobilized recovery convention in Las Vegas. And he called me. It was around his birthday. So he had called me and he asked me for some money. Dad, can you give me some money? It's my birthday, this, that, or the other. And I had the money to give. And a part of me, to be honest, a part of me really wanted to give him some money for his birthday, because that's one of the things that I was doing for my children at that time. I was giving my children money for their birthdays. So anyway, when he asked me that, here is what I replied to him. I said, son, and again, please hear this. If you know somebody, or if this is you, hear this. I said, son, if I give you this money, you take this money, you go and buy your drug of choice, you use that drug, and that be the one that causes you to have that be a lethal dose and end up costing you your life. How do you think that that's going to make me feel, knowing that the money that I gave you helped you to die? How do you think that's going to make me feel? Well, needless to say, he had no words. He had no reply for that, which basically told me he understood what I was saying. And I'm saying the same thing to you people who are out there listening to this. What if that money you give your child or your dad or sister or brother, whoever, that money that you give them be that one, or that house that you're paying the rent in be that place, or that car that you're paying the note and insurance on be that thing for which is used to have your loved one OD or have that lethal dose. Will we find ourselves in a situation saying, if I didn't give them that money, if I didn't give them that apartment, if I didn't buy that car, they wouldn't be in this situation? So we don't have to worry about saying these things. Let's stop being the enablers for our children, our friends, our brothers, our sisters, our husbands, our dads, our wives, our mothers. Let's let us come together and stop being the enablers for them to stay in that madness one more day. And what I'm saying is, if that's what you want to do, then I can't stop you, but you won't get it at my cost. You won't get it at my cost. I'm not going to be party to that in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I'll be a wonderful, willing party to you getting help and gaining a life of recovery. But I'm not giving you a penny or a thing or a place to enable you to stay in that madness one more second. That's the way the people who are enablers can start your recovery journey. Stop enabling them. Stop giving them anything that's going to keep them in that madness one more second. And then, in many cases, that prompts them, that puts fire up under them to say, I need to go and get me some help. In many cases, not all. However, in many cases, I've known for people to say, okay, now my family is done, or whoever, they're done, I need to go get some help. And they go get help, and a lot of them are living wonderful lives of recovery. Families are healed, families are back together, and all of these wonderful things that comes along with recovery. But those things are not going to happen. I promise you, people, those things are not going to happen if you're continuing to enable your loved ones to stay in that situation by giving them anything that's going to keep them there one more day. So please pay attention to that. And if you know anyone that's going through what I'm talking about and you want to talk about it, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than willing to help in any way that I possibly can, short of enabling. If you who are the loved ones that are not using want to have some conversations around how can we stay healthy during this process or during this time where our loved ones is being in this madness or mess, I'm more than willing and able to have some conversations with you and some support around this. Again, all you have to do is comment in the chat, text me, DM me, whatever you need to do. Subscribe to the page. And again, I'm here if you need me. But let's do this thing so that we can continue, so that we can position ourselves to stop enabling our loved ones to stay in that madness any longer. With that being said, this is Paul, your hip hop relationship and recovery coach. And stop enabling your people to stay in that madness. And until next time, as always, please be well, do the next right thing. And God bless you all. This is Paul, your hip hop relationship and recovery coach. And you either sitting on your butt or standing on your why. I'm out of here till next time.